Hi everyone, today I'm showing you how I created this soft brown smoky eye paired with fresh glowy skin, perfect for everyday or casual glam. Let's get started. First, I prepped my skin with the Topology Radiance Serum L32. It's packed with vitamin C botanicals that brighten the skin and even out the tone, the perfect radiant base before makeup. Next, I applied a generous amount of Beauty of Jason Relief Sun SPF 50 all over my face and down to my neck. I love this SPF so much. This sunscreen is lightweight, calming and rich in rice extract and niacinamide. It hydrates and protects without leaving a white cast. Then I used the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer, focusing on my T-zone to control oil and increase makeup longevity. I spread the remaining product over the rest of my face for a smooth hydrated base. For a healthy glow, I applied the e.l.f. Halo Liquid Filter in shade 2 Fair Light to the drier areas of my face, mainly the sides, to add radiance and dimension. I'm applying it using my Laura Mercier foundation brush, which blends the product beautifully into the skin. Look how radiant the skin already looks. It gives such a gorgeous natural look and looks super fresh, healthy even before foundation. For foundation, I applied one big pump of Lancôme Teint Idole Ultra Wear in the shade 235N to the back of my hand. Then I blended from the center of my face outward using the Laura Mercier foundation brush. The finish is soft and skin-like, and the undertone is perfect for olive-toned complexions. It also contains hydrating ingredients like hyaluronic acid and moringa to keep the skin soft and nourished all day. I also go slightly with the foundation brush over my eyes to cover a little bit of redness already. Next, I used NARS concealer in 2.6 Café con Leche to color correct under my eyes and neutralize redness. I used a brush to apply it precisely where I needed more coverage. Then I layered the Armani Luminous Silk Concealer in shade 2 under my eyes, around my nose and under my bottom lip to brighten shadows. It's super creamy and hydrating, enriched with vitamin E and glycerin, and blends effortlessly for a seamless finish. I use my Zoeva brush to gently press and stipple the concealer into the skin. The texture melts in beautifully and leaves a natural luminous result without looking heavy. For contour, I use the Fenty Beauty Match Stick in Mocha with a brush, focusing on my forehead, sides of my nose and cheekbones. I softly blend it upward to lift the face and define my features. I also use it slightly in my eye crease to define the lids, and added some around the lips to give them more shape. Next, I added the e.l.f. Halo Glow Beauty Wand highlighter in champagne on the high points of my face with a damp sponge, cheekbones, bridge of the nose, and for the dewy glow that still shines through even after powder. For blush, I use the Halo Glow Beauty Wand blush in Pink Me Up, applying it to the highest points of my cheeks where the sun will naturally hit for a lifted and fresh sun-kissed effect. To set everything, I use the Lancôme Long Time No Shine translucent powder. It's super fine and mattifies instantly without taking away that healthy glow. I applied it under my eyes, on the lids and around the forehead. I used a square powder puff to gently press the powder into the skin, which helps lock everything in place while keeping the complexion smooth and fresh all day. For the eyes, I applied the Armani eye tint in shade 30M on my lids and blended out with a large fluffy brush into the crease and slightly outward for a lifted shape. It's also great for hooded eyes. Darker tones naturally recede and define. Formula is incredibly blendable, buildable and long wearing, making it perfect for all day wear. You can also use it as a base for layering powder eyeshadows on top, which adds even more depth and intensity to your look. Using a smaller brush, I blended the same tint under the lower lash line and connected it with the top shadow for a soft smoked out effect. Then I used the Lancôme Style Waterproof Liner in 03 Chocolate Matte to define my upper lash line and the outer corners of the eyes. I applied it right along the lash line and used a small, precise brush to softly diffuse and blend the edges. I also extended the liner slightly upward to the outer corners to create a subtly lifted effect, which is especially flattering for hooded eyes. This technique helps to visually close the outer corners and reshape the eye in a more lifted, open way. The texture is super creamy and easy to work with, but once it sets, it becomes completely smudge-proof and waterproof, lasting all day long. I tight lined the upper waterline with Lancôme Style Waterproof in 02 Noir Intense to deepen the lash line and use the brown liner on the lower waterline to create balance. I choose brown here to keep the look soft and smoky without making it too harsh. Of course, using a black kohl pencil on the lower waterline is also an option if you're going for a more intense dramatic effect, but in this case I wanted something a bit more wearable. I'm starting with the Tweezerman lash curler to really open up the eyes. Curling the lashes is especially helpful if you have hooded eyes because it helps to lift the lash line and softly dejuice the lid. It instantly makes the eyes appear more open and awake. And if you are going for a more dramatic effect, especially for shooting content or a night out, you can definitely add false lashes on top. After curling, I'm applying the Lancôme Hypnose Drama Mascara. It gives amazing volume and definition, grabs every lash beautifully and holds the curl all day. It also enhances the lifted look and makes the curled lashes last longer. For brows, I first used the L'Oreal Brow Pencil in 7 Blonde, which has a cool toned finish I love for a natural shape. Then I used the NYX Lift and Snatch pen in Ash Brown to mimic individual brow hairs where I needed more definition. To hold everything in place, I use the Gosh Brow Lift Lamination Gel, which keeps brows firm and lifted all day. I brushed through with a clean spoolie to remove any excess and keep them looking natural. For lips, I lined them with the Bobbi Brown lip pencil in Pale Mauve, shade 33. It's a beautiful, cool toned mauve that adds just the right amount of definition. I really love this lip pencil because the shade is so flattering. It's soft, slightly cool and gives the lips a fuller appearance without looking harsh. The texture is super gentle, glides on easily, and it has a really great staying power throughout the day. Then I use the Bobbi Brown Plump Lip Serum in Bare Blossom 784, super lightweight, hydrating and not sticky at all. It makes the lips feel soft and look juicy. To finish, I added a soft layer of Lancôme Skin Refining Setting Powder in 03 Medium to warm up the complexion like a bronzer. The texture of this powder is incredibly soft and smooth. It glides onto the skin beautifully and blends without any patchiness. It adds just the right amount of warmth while still keeping the look natural and polished. Optional, you can also add a pop of highlighter to the inner corners of the eyes for that extra touch of glow. A beautiful detail if you want a luminous finish. Of course, you can also keep the eye look completely matte for a more soft focus, understated elegance. And that's the final look. A soft brown smoky eye, glowing complexion and natural defined features, simple, elegant and perfect for any occasion. I hope you like it. If you did, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Thank you for watching.